Today we're talking a little bit more about hybrid events and meetings and what are the different things that are still considered hybrid, because when we start talking about hybrid workshops and hybrid events and hybrid conferences, each one of those can look so differently and we need to approach one way very differently than the other. So I made this little drawing that was inspired by watching a replay of a session from the Art of Hosting community. If you're not familiar with the Art of Hosting, I highly recommend you check it out. I know some of you are already familiar with them, and I can share the link of where you can watch that full video below, but I'm also talking to some of the people who hosted this session to see if they want to come in and do this at the collective again, a version of this. So here is what the spectrum, hold on, spectrum needs a sound effect. The spectrum, spectrum of hybrid meetings looks like. So we have everything from completely online on the far left and completely offline or on-site, we'll call it on-site for now, on the right, like in the room I called it last time. So online is all the way to the left and on-site is all the way to the right. And if we look at this, what we most of the time probably think of is right in the middle. Like half of the people are online and the other half are on-site. And that's the one where the video that I shared earlier about the audio challenges becomes super important, that you have set up the stage for the in-person, the on-site experience, and that you brief everyone for the virtual, the online experience. But there's a few more layers to this. So if we look at kind of the far left of this spectrum, if we have 2 participants on site and the rest is online, so think of a meeting room with 2 people and they're looking at one maybe big monitor or screen where everybody else is in gallery view. So that would be like one specific example that is all the way on one side of the spectrum. Like I said, in the middle we have kind of half-half, and then on the far other side we have 1 participant online and everybody on site. So think of your regular in-person workshops and events where you have people maybe sitting in a circle and you have that screen with that one person in kind of speaker view who is participating. So when you look at the 2 different experiences, they're very different. And for the 1 participant online, the rest on site, making sure that that 1 participant can hear everyone in the room becomes really important. So making sure that there's a microphone that either goes around or people have to walk up to when they speak, so the person online can feel included and can participate. On the other hand, 2 participants on site, if we go to the online side of the spectrum, most people online, they will all have a good microphone. So for the in-person, again, it's important that they can hear everyone, they can see everyone, so a larger display might actually be better. Again, going back and forth, like any of your events could be anywhere on this spectrum, and it's really important to understand that hybrid doesn't mean just like half online and half in person. It can be any of those. So I just wanted to share this quick little video, and hopefully that will help us kind of talk a little bit more about hybrid events with this knowledge that it can be showing up in many different places. And like me, you might have already done a hybrid meeting. If you think back, I actually would love for you to share in the comments, when you ran a virtual event, let's say in the last year, was there a time where 2 people shared one screen? Like were 2 people sitting in front of one laptop? If yes, then you have already done a hybrid meeting. If you ever did an in-person workshop or event and there was one person who was like calling in on their phone or Skyping in, then you also have already done a hybrid meeting. And I'm curious to see how many of you, just like thinking about this, already have some experiences to share. I have hosted a virtual holiday party at the end of last year that had a few rooms with a few people in front of one screen, and that was by surprise. I was not briefed about that. And those are maybe the most fun hybrid meetings, where you don't even know that they're hybrid until you have already started. So it's really good to start thinking ahead of what are the tech challenges, how do we need to adjust our activities to make sure they work. And I think that's the next video I want to do, is specifically on activities. Like, what are the things that we love to do when we gather people? Like, how do we do something like a breakout room activity? How do we do something like if we wanted to people to annotate or do a poll to make sure that everyone's included? And most importantly, the tool that we've been using so much in a virtual space, the chat, how could we still use some of those things in a hybrid space? So stay tuned for the next video. I'll leave you with this, and I'll see you in the collective. Bye.